Hi YouTube. So it's Friday afternoon here and I've got some time to come and say hi. So I wanted to come and tell you a story about the time I went to court. So it's not what you think it is. So I've never actually been to court for me. I visited court. I first went to court when I was studying legal studies in high school. We rode our bikes down to the local courthouse and we went to the magistrate's court and we observed court, which was pretty interesting. And then more recently, I was in town earlier this year and I had some time in between two appointments, I think the dentist and a job interview. And I was up the lawyer's end of town, because I'd gotten to know that end of town when I worked on the Robo-Debt Royal Commission. It's where all the lawyers hang out. Nice end of town, and my office was across from the law courts. So I knew where the law courts were, but I'd never been into the building. So obviously you have to go through the x-ray machines. And I didn't really know where I was going. I just thought, well, obviously there's a public gallery in certain courtrooms, so I'm going to go and check it out. So it was the court was the district court. I didn't go to the magistrate's court, the district court. I think the Supreme Court, maybe not the Supreme Court, but definitely district court sittings. And I was basically just finding a courtroom, and if something was in session, I'd try the door, and if it opened, first couple didn't open, the next one did open, and there I found myself in the courtroom. It was a district court matter, and I walk in. I remember to bow to the judge. Obviously the judge is representing the Crown, so you need to bow to the judge when you enter the courtroom and when you leave again. And found a seat in the public gallery, and it was quite a small public gallery, but this courtroom was a beautifully designed room. It was basically a square with beautiful windows. The bar where the judge was sitting was at the front, and the jury was sitting there. When I walked in, I quickly got a sense that the defense barrister was giving closing argument. And then I could see there was a guard watching this guy, and I was like, the guy sitting right there in front of me was the accused, and he was just right there behind a glass screen, or in front of a glass screen. And I listened to the closing argument from the prosecution, and they were not very convincing at all. Oh, actually, when I walked in, someone from the prosecution table, the defense wasn't very good. The barrister from the defense. When I walked in, one of the guys turned around and looked at me. But I just pretended like I went there every day and I was very cool, calm and connected, even though it was pretty exciting for me. So once the defense finished their closing arguments, then the prosecution barrister, I'm not quite sure what to call them, they stood up and gave their closing arguments, and they were very convincing. So based on what I heard, I was pretty sure that the guy did it. I won't go into the details of the case. I could, it's very interesting, but not for today. So in the time that I was there, the judge then sent the jury away, was in the process of sending the jury away to consider their verdict. And so the judge had to explain to them for all of the different counts that the accused was accused of, what would count as a guilty verdict, and he was briefing the jury on what to do when they went away. And I don't think the judge finished that, because then he called lunch and they were going to come back for more kind of briefing from the judge. But it was actually a great visit to the courtroom. I was just in awe of the architecture. It's such a small room, such simple design. It was comforting to know that this kind of institution was in play, that it was all being run so well. It was also professional, and the arguments were also well considered, and it just had this really nice sense of, yes, there is justice in the world. The justice is working as it should. What a great institution, what a great courthouse. I just found it a really interesting visit to the courthouse. If you ever have a moment, some spare time in town, and you want to visit the courthouse, I totally recommend it. I've recently read a book by Jamelle Wells, and I'll put the details down below. Jamelle Wells was the court reporter for the ABC for many years, a court reporter for the ABC. She's written a memoir about it. I think she's actually written 2 memoirs about court reporting. Definitely recommend it if you're interested in the law. And she talks a lot about her experience of sitting in court. She talks about some people who go to observe court. And the public gallery is actually, it's important that the public knows it can go and observe these court cases, even if, you know, they may be not getting much media attention. I don't think there was anyone from the media. What was interesting for me, once court closed or was adjourned or went to lunch, whatever happened, the accused obviously was out on bail, because the accused got up, and the woman sitting behind me in the public gallery was obviously his partner or his wife. And then they walked out together. There was not really other people supporting them. There weren't many people in the public gallery, but it was just a very interesting experience. So I hope you found this interesting, a little Friday afternoon story time for me. If you've been to court and you've visited, let me know. If you've been into the public gallery, did you find it interesting? Yeah, I just thought, for me, that's fascinating. I really found that so interesting. Yeah, so I'd be interested to hear what you think about it. Please subscribe to my video and like the video if you found it interesting, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, did you see, got my nails done today? My Christmas birthday treat, to have my nails done. So I thought it was great timing to make a video today. All right, YouTube, have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.